say anything, but I thought I had to. After all, Bruce was the quiet one. I never was. And so he was a man of many colours, including the oranges that we seem to have collected over the years. But I think we can all see different things, and we're amazed when sometimes we saw something different about Bruce that other people could see and we hadn't seen before. The most important thing in his life was his family, especially our own small family of Matthew and Rachel and Gabrielle, Hayden and Jasper here in Canada, and Sarah and Hagen in Germany, my mum, little grandma, but also his family in England. Next would be his friends, both in his work and within the community, but especially in his church of St. Mark's. He was a man of simple yet deep faith and commitment. Part of that commitment was to music, and as a chorister for 65 years in England and in Canada, including on April the 11th, it was 50 years on that day that he'd been a chorister at St. Mark's here in Ottawa, and that was the day that he suffered his heart attack. He was a caring and generous man and accepted everyone unconditionally. He was known as a man of few words, yet a good listener. And profound in the few words he did share. If yes was the answer, then that was sufficient. Bruce Lodge, B.Pharm, PhD, DSc, a scientist. It often came as a surprise when people found he was a doctor. To him, he was just Bruce. Sometimes he was seen as the mildly mad scientist with a dry yet poignant sense of humour. And I remember him introducing himself to my first boss here in Ottawa as Her Britannic Majesty's contraceptive tester. It was a surprise to me, but he worked for Health Canada on the relatively new birth control pill. And he also stated that the Queen had never been pregnant on his watch. You can laugh if you want to. I'll let you. I see a few little smiles there. Grandpa can see them too. Bruce was a language buff, a book lover, a veritable fountain of both useful knowledge and seemingly useless facts, a sports lover, and during this COVID time, a major jigsaw puzzler. He was an avid traveller and fervent trade enthusiast, also a connoisseur of good wine and international cuisine, marmalade and jam maker, and he loved kippers. Since his initial heart surgery in 2012, every Sunday he would have hot smoked kippers for breakfast. This was a special treat off his normal diet. He would share one of the 5 with me. The Sunday of his heart attack, he didn't have the kippers. This past Sunday, I felt I needed kippers. Fortunately, Matthew likes them, and as we were together that morning making arrangements for today, we had kippers. I had my one, and Matthew had the rest, just like his dad. Thank you, Matthew. The last week of Bruce's life was shared with Sarah and Matthew, sharing memories and talking about the reality of what might happen. Thank you both, though 1,000 miles apart, for being with me. Matthew, thank you for your physical presence and love and helping me plan. Sarah, for your spiritual support and love and finding the words that so described your dad, Bruce, the person. Rachel, for taking over the space and time that Matthew gave to me. And to our grandchildren, both here in Canada and in Germany. Gabrielle, Hagen, Hayden, and Jasper, thank you for sharing your special memories of Grandpa Opa with me. Keep those memories strong in your hearts. He loved you with all of his. Bruce had family and friends and co-workers scattered around the world. Our family thank you for being part of his life in your own special ways. And we thank you for your ongoing love, support, and comfort. Due to the present pandemic, we are only allowed a few to be with us today. Thank you for representing parts of Bruce's life in the church and in the community. Sarah and Hagen in Germany could not travel. Little Grandma is confined to her seniors' residence here in Ottawa. But today, through the medium of live streaming, they are with us right now, and we are able to share Bruce's farewell with all of you and our family and friends in Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand, USA, Europe, and beyond. Thank you all for being with us, near and far, but especially I would like to thank Bishop Peter Coffin, a dear, but not quite too old, friend and pastor, for leading today's service and being with us. He holds a special place in our hearts. And thank you to Father Julian, our priest at St. Mark's, for his blessings. I also want to thank a few people whose talent has been part of the service today. Our virtual choristers with Bruce's choir at St. Mark's. Kate Grey-Close and her children Jeremy, Madeline and Penelope for their hymns of hope representing the junior and senior choirs. Ariane Din, St. Mark's choir director, for playing Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, one of the first pieces I heard Bruce play when he was a very young teenager. For Ariane and members of the senior choir, Joy, Suja, Brenda, Karen, Gillian, Kate, John and Ray, and also Joy, who assembled the anthem, Thou Visitest the Earth. This was very special to me. Little did we realize at Thanksgiving 2020, it would be Bruce's last solo as a St. Mark's chorister. Bruce would have turned 80 in July. He died peacefully on April the 16th. And while we will sorely miss him, we wish him a wonderful journey. We celebrate being part of his life and him being part of ours. God bless, farewell, or as little Grandma always said,